Good evening. Welcome to News Tonight on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Ashwarya with you. Let us start the news bulletin with the headlines. India will not join Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership deal. Prime Minister Modi clears stand at the third RCEP summit in Bangkok. Home Minister Amit Shah says decision will ensure support to our farmers, MSMEs and other industries, underscores Prime Minister's resolve to ensure national interest above all. India well prepared to deal with natural disasters, says Amit Shah in his address at the Shanghai Cooperation Organization conference. Home Minister calls global cooperation vital in combating calamities. Rajnath Singh calls on friendly countries to explore mutually beneficial partnerships in defence, says next year's DEF Expo will allow countries not only to showcase their equipment but also to explore strengths of India's defence industry. Terrorism causes serious harm not only to society but also the economy, says Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla at the G20 Speaker Summit in Tokyo. Cautions against the damage caused by climate change to future generations. And Supreme Court expresses concern over air pollution in Delhi NCR region. Bans construction activity, announces 1 lakh fine for violators. Apex Court also asks Centre and Delhi government to work together in dealing with dumping and burning garbage, announces a fine of 5,000 for offenders. The Indian government has decided not to join the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said on Monday that India will not join the mega RCEP deal as negotiations failed to satisfactorily address New Delhi's outstanding issues and concerns. Prime Minister Modi made the announcement during his speech at the RCEP summit in Bangkok, which was attended by several world leaders.
India conveyed its decision at the summit not to join the RCEP agreement. This reflects both our assessment of the current global situation as well as of the fairness and balance of the agreement. India had significant issues of core interest that remained unresolved. In his remarks on this subject, Prime Minister highlighted that he was guided by the impact it would have on the lives and livelihoods of all Indians, especially vulnerable sections of society. He spoke of Mahatma Gandhiji's advice on recalling the face of the weakest and the poorest, and then ask if the steps are of any use to them. India has participated in good faith in the RCEP discussions and has negotiated hard with a clear-eyed view of our interests. In the given circumstances, we believe that not joining the agreement is the right decision for India. We would continue to persevere in strengthening our trade, investment and people-to-people relations with this region.
And later, speaking at a press conference at Bangkok, Secretary East of MEA Vijay Thakur Singh said that the core issues of our country will not be compromised and this decision was taken in the interest of the nation, further adding that discussions were also held on cross-border terrorism and South China Sea, among others.
Terrorism, violent extremism and transnational crimes. They also discussed South China Sea, the situation in the Korean Peninsula, as well as in the Rakhine State in Myanmar. Prime Minister underlined the priority India attaches to firm and unambiguous action against terrorism, which is the most heinous transborder crime, as also action against those who abet, shelter, and support terrorist groups.
Remember, the RCEP negotiations were launched by ASEAN leaders and 6 other countries during the 21st ASEAN Summit in November 2012. And the objective of launching RCEP negotiations was to achieve a modern, comprehensive, high-quality and mutually beneficial economic partnership agreement among the ASEAN member states and its FTA partners. And in related news, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Monday held bilateral meetings with his Australian and Vietnamese counterparts. In his meeting with Vietnam's Premier Nguyen Xuan Phuc, Prime Minister Modi discussed ways to further bolster bilateral strategic cooperation between India and Vietnam. The Prime Minister termed his talks with the Vietnamese leader as very productive. And Prime Minister Modi also met Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison and discussed bilateral and regional issues with him as well. Prime Minister Modi also met Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe on the sidelines of the 35th ASEAN Summit. The leaders discussed ways to enhance bilateral ties and defense cooperation. And Home Minister Amit Shah on Monday said that India's decision not to sign the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership reiterates Prime Minister Narendra Modi's strong leadership and unflinching resolve to protect the national interest in all circumstances. In a series of tweets, Amit Shah said that the decision will ensure support to India's farmers, MSME sector, dairy and manufacturing sectors, among others. On to some other news, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has said that the character of warfare is changing, and in this information age, the challenge is not just to prepare for contingencies but also to repel threats from multiple sources. He was addressing the Ambassadors' Roundtable at the Defence Expo 2020 in New Delhi. The minister added that the armed forces must be equipped with artificial intelligence, big data and blockchain technologies to meet the challenges of the modern warfare. Rajnath Singh said that the defence industry is undergoing a churning to cope and employ these technologies to ensure safety and security of critical infrastructure. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh is scheduled to visit Russia on a 3-day tour from 5th to 7th of November. He will co-chair the 19th India-Russia Intergovernmental Commission on Military and Military Technical Cooperation starting Tuesday in Moscow. During his visit, Rajnath Singh is expected to hold talks with his Russian counterpart, General Sergei Shoigu. He is scheduled to inaugurate, along with the Russian Ministry of Defense and Trade, a conference named Russia-India Defence Industry Cooperation Conference. Now, this conference will discuss ways to promote defence industrial cooperation between India and Russia, transfer technology and investment in India in the defence industry under the Make in India program. Rajnath Singh is also scheduled to visit St. Petersburg, where he will place a wreath at the Memorial Cemetery, honouring the soldiers and civilians who lost their lives during the Second World War. Home Minister Amit Shah on Monday said that India attaches special importance to the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, or the SCO, and always stands for the help of disaster-affected countries. Amit Shah was addressing the opening session of the SCO joint exercise on Urban Earthquake Search and Rescue 2019 in New Delhi. He further said that a geosynchronous satellite launched by India will help South Asian countries in areas like communications and accurate forecasting of weather. The Home Minister emphasized the need for collective efforts to reduce the loss from disasters.
आपदाओं से होने वाली हानि को कम करने से संबंधित किसी भी वैश्विक लक्ष्य को चाहे वे संडे फ्रेमवर्क में निर्धारित हो अथवा स्थायी विकास के लक्ष्यों में निर्धारित हो, 2030 तब तक पूरा नहीं किया जा सकता जब तक कि उन्हें एससीओ देशों द्वारा हासिल नहीं किया जा सकता। अतः इस क्षेत्र में अंतर्राष्ट्रीय सहयोग हम सब के लिए महत्वपूर्ण है। भारत में हम आपदाओं से होने वाली मौतों की संख्या में कमी करने और अन्य नुकसानों को कम करने की दिशा में समन्वित प्रयास कर रहे हैं।
Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla on Monday said that terrorism is a serious challenge as it not only is a threat to humanity but also obstructs the efforts towards development and damages the economy. Speaking at the Speakers Summit in Tokyo, Birla added that climate change is another alarming concern which is not only changing the nature of our planet but also is creating serious risks and instability for future generations. Birla further mentioned that India's commitment to the 2030 Agenda and its Sustainable Development Goals reflects its priority for development. Therefore, India's National Development Goals and its Sabka Saath Sabka Vikas or Development with All and for All policy are in sync with the Sustainable Development Goals. Remember, Om Birla is leading the Indian delegation at the G20 Parliamentary Speakers Summit that is currently underway in Tokyo, in Japan. In news tonight, time for a very short break. We'll be back with more news. Stay tuned.
Watch India's World with me, Frank Pereira, only on Rajya Sabha television.
Among the inseparable identity of Delhi, Qutub Minar has stood by the test of times and elements. Struck by lightning a few times, the 240-meter tower suffered damages on its top story. Firoz Shah Tughlaq and Sikandar Lodi had commissioned the repair under the rule, but the damage most remembered was the one in the 19th century, when an earthquake had damaged the topmost story in 1803. The responsibility of the repair was given to a British officer, Major Robert Smith, who had placed a pillared cupola on the top of the minaret. After massive criticism, the then Governor-General Harding ordered the cupola to be removed. It was reinstalled at the ground level to the east of Qutub Minar. It still remains there, known as Smith's Folly.
Watch The Big Picture with me, Frank Pereira, at 9:30 p.m.
Tales that inspire. Stories of social change. A salute to diversity. Promoting public discourse. Events that motivate. Inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries.
Enter the majestic forecourt of Rashtrapati Bhavan and you'll come across the Jaipur column. A gift to the Viceroy from Savai Madho Singh, the Maharaja of Jaipur, to commemorate the creation of the new capital. The 145-meter high column is crowned with 6 pointed crystal stars on a bronze lotus, and inside the stone shaft runs a steel tube which weighs a little more than 5 tons. The base of the column has text conceived by Lord Irwin and Sir Edwin Lutyens inscribed on it.
Welcome back. On to some political news now. Amid the ongoing political tussle over government formation in the state of Maharashtra, State Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis met with BJP President Amit Shah in Delhi on Monday. Fadnavis sought centre's aid for farmers who have lost their crops in drought-related conditions in Maharashtra. He also expressed confidence of returning back to power. Meanwhile, Shiv Sena leader Sanjay Raut met Maharashtra governor in Mumbai and held discussion on a wide range of issues, including political. The term of the existing Maharashtra Legislative Assembly, remember, expires on 9th of November. And BJP's Gyan Gupta was unanimously elected on Monday as the Speaker of the Haryana Legislative Assembly. The Panchkula MLA Gupta's name was proposed by Manohar Lal Khattar and was seconded by Deputy Chief Minister Dushyant Chautala. News from Jammu and Kashmir now, where one person was killed and 35 others were injured after a grenade was hurled at the security forces in Srinagar on Monday. The attack took place at the Hari Singh High Street market in Srinagar. This is the second grenade attack in the city within 15 days. On 12th of October as well, terrorists had injured 5 people in a similar grenade attack in the area. Security forces have now cordoned off the area. Science and Technology Minister Dr. Harshvardhan on Monday said that India is going to increase the share of non-fossil fuels, and by 2022 there is a plan to increase the country's renewable energy capacity to much beyond 175 gigawatts and later till 450 gigawatts. Inaugurating the Mission Innovation face-to-face meeting in the national capital, Delhi, he added that India has continuously taken initiatives and shown leadership qualities for developing clean energy. He expressed happiness over the fact that Mission Innovation currently comprises of 24 member countries and the European Commission. He added that these countries have committed to double the government's funding on clean energy research.
दुनिया के 24 देश और साथ में यूरोपियन कमीशन, वो सब लोग मिलकर क्लीन एनर्जी के लिए रिसर्च कर रहे हैं। 8 ऐसे एरियाज़ हैं, चाहे वो बायोफ्यूल्स का हो, चाहे वो स्मार्ट ग्रिड्स का हो या दूसरे जितने भी रिलेटेड सब्जेक्ट्स हो सकते हैं, और भारत 8 के 8 में पार्टिसिपेट कर रहा है। 3 के अंदर भारत स्वयं उसमें लीड कर रहा है।
And now an update on the pollution situation in the Delhi NCR region, and the Supreme Court on Monday summoned the Chief Secretaries of Punjab, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh over stubble burning in these states. Now, taking serious note of crop burning in these states, the Supreme Court said that it cannot go unabated every year. The top court ordered no power cuts should take place in Delhi, Punjab, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh to ensure that no diesel generators are used. And apart from this, the Supreme Court also criticized the Delhi authorities for their failure to curb pollution in Delhi NCR. It added that people are losing precious years of their lives due to air pollution. The top court called the pollution in Delhi NCR as atrocious and said that no one is safe even inside their homes. The top court also stopped all the construction and demolition activities as well as garbage and waste burning in the Delhi NCR till further orders. Meanwhile, the odd-even road rationing scheme, which started from Monday, also faced a scrutiny of the apex court as the judges looked for a long-term plan for ensuring clean air in the national capital. The court directed the centre and the states concerned to prepare a roadmap within 3 weeks to prevent a situation like this. The Supreme Court has decided to hear the matter on air pollution next on 6th of November. Meanwhile, in related news, the Prime Minister's office has called upon the Chief Secretaries of Delhi NCR and other parts of northern India to take necessary steps in view of the increasing levels of air pollution. Principal Secretary P.K. Mishra held a meeting with the officials of Delhi, Punjab and Haryana to take stock of the situation. The centre is keeping a close watch on the pollution situation in the NCR region, and about 300 teams have been deployed at different locations to reduce pollution. All the necessary machinery required for pollution control has also been distributed to the affected areas.
सीपीसीबी ने जितने आदेश दिए हैं दिल्ली सरकार वो देखे और उसमें से कितने का पालन किया है ये बताए, और वो कह रहे हैं कि और मशीन क्यों नहीं दे रहे, 22 लाख किसान हैं तो 40,000 मशीन क्यों दे रहे। तो हमने तो 1100 करोड़ दिए, ये 1500 करोड़ रुपए एडवर्टीजमेंट में बेकार करने के बजाय दिल्ली सरकार दिल्ली का प्रदूषण कम होने के लिए 1500 करोड़ किसानों को क्यों नहीं दी थी।
Now, the main focus of the centre is 7 industrial areas and major traffic corridors in Delhi NCR. Besides this, the centre is also monitoring all the air polluting units and the burning of waste as well as construction activities as well. Meanwhile, odd even scheme has been renewed in Delhi and the government is taking all necessary steps to control pollution. On to some other news now. The Parliamentary Standing Committee on Science, Technology, Environment, Forests and Climate Change will examine the extensive role of the Department of Atomic Energy in cancer treatment. In its recent meeting, the committee has decided to investigate the subject. The investigation will focus on the role of Department of Atomic Energy in cancer treatment with the help of Tata Memorial Centre. Senior MP Jairam Ramesh is the chairman of this committee. And our special segment now on environment and climate change. New model guidelines for room air conditioners and refrigerators have been issued by 4UE, or the United for Efficiency Initiative by the United Nations. It aims to reduce emissions by setting clear performance standards for new appliances in view of the growing demand for air conditioning unit and refrigerators, which threaten to accelerate global warming. Globally, an estimated 3.6 billion cooling appliances are in use today, and this is projected to increase to 9.5 billion appliances by 2050. And if cooling is provided for all who need it globally, it would require up to 14 billion cooling appliances by 2050, which means more electricity consumption, more greenhouse gases, and more global warming. The guidelines are another strand to a global movement to make cooling efficient, more accessible for all, and climate friendly. Jal Shakti Minister Gajendra Singh Shekhawat has appealed to the children to make the government's NAMAMI Gange program a success. The minister was addressing a gathering at the NAMAMI Gange festival held at Major Dhyan Chand Stadium in national capital. Now, during the program, a campaign was launched to educate society through street plays and various programs to keep River Ganga clean. The NAMAMI Gange program, remember, was launched in June 2014 with a budget outlay of 20,000 crore rupees to accomplish the twin objectives of effective abatement of pollution, conservation and rejuvenation of River Ganga.
प्रधानमंत्री जी का जो आह्वान है कि हम जल संचय की दिशा में देश को जागरूक करते हुए देश को जल समृद्ध देश बनाएं, इस दिशा में हम सब लोग जुटें, ऐसी शुभकामनाओं के साथ में इस उत्सव की सफलता और इस उत्सव के माध्यम से आपके सबके जीवन में, इस उत्सव में भाग लेने वाले सारे लोगों के जीवन में कहीं न कहीं जल संरक्षण, संचय और जल की निर्मलता के प्रति कोई न कोई बीज के भाव के बीज का रोपण हो.
And Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar announced the dates of the International Film Festival of India. The 50th edition of the festival will be held in Goa from 20th to 28th of November. The festival will witness the presence of two cine icons, Amitabh Bachchan and Rajnikant. Both actors will attend the opening ceremony of the film festival. The festival will showcase national and international films, which include 190 films selected from 76 countries.
फिल्म महोत्सव गोवा में 20 नवंबर से 28 नवंबर तक संपन्न होगा. रजनीकांत को स्पेशल आइकॉन अवार्ड ईफी 50 का दिया गया है. उन्होंने स्वीकार भी किया है और वो उद्घाटन के कार्यक्रम में अमिताभ बच्चन जी भी रहेंगे. उनके द्वारा उद्घाटन का कार्यक्रम में वो होंगे और उसके साथ रजनीकांत भी होंगे. उनको ये अवार्ड दिया जाएगा. तो ये एक बेहतर संयोग होगा. इसमें इस बार विशेषता ये है कि कर्नाटक गोवा के कोंकणी फिल्म्स, 7 कोंकणी फिल्म्स को दिखाया जाएगा. तो गोवा में इतने सालों से फिल्म फेस्टिवल होता है, लेकिन कोंकणी फिल्मों का अलग सेक्शन नहीं था, वो हम दे रहे हैं.
And that's it in this edition of News Tonight. Thanks for watching. Good night.